Welcome back to League on Lock. Eric and Mark here with you, and I hope you're getting excited because it's the Final Four in the NA and EU LCS. We already previewed Europe, so it's time to move on to North America, and things kick off this weekend with TSM versus C9. One of the oldest rivalries, not quite as old as CLG TSM, but TSM C9 was actually a rivalry because it's competitive. It wasn't just TSM completely dumpstering every time, and it's the first time these teams are meeting in the semifinals. Usually it's coming in the finals.
Yeah, usually it's a match that goes both ways in this rivalry, except for the times that you've ended up meeting in the playoffs, because I can tell you what, after every time they've met in the playoffs, Jensen leaves with his head in his hands, and Bjergsen leaves a victor. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out this time.
It hasn't been since, the 2013-2014 where C9 went 6-0 against TSM to win their first two LCS splits. Ever since then, it's been pretty much all TSM in the playoffs. And this regular season was very different for these two squads. They went 1-1 in the regular season. The first win TSM got was against C9 when they were horrible. Because, they had the terrifically awful start to the summer split and then went on a run for the ages 8-1 to close out, whereas TSM was just relatively inconsistent right until the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got to think of the victory that TSM picked up against Cloud9 was during the time when it was kind of hashtag not my C9. Now this is my C9, the way that this 7-man roster is rolling and running like a well-oiled machine, and they're heading right into this TSM matchup. TSM, I think, picking up an incredibly important victory against Echo Fox in their quarterfinals, not only just because, of course, the obvious that they stay alive and keep getting to push onwards towards Worlds and the NA Finals here, but it's so important that this squad that's come together now has gone through the trials and tribulations of this year, not finding the success that almost everybody on this roster is accustomed to in their career, and to finally pick up a big win together, a big clutch team performance to get it done in a Game 5 is such a big confidence booster and teammate, cement mixer right here to get everybody on the same page and wanting to work together. And I think that that's going to really help TSM heading into their matchup against Cloud9.
I think the interesting thing about this matchup is kind of comparable to that Schalke Vitality series where Cloud9 is a super aggressive team in the early game. They want to get things rolling, and TSM is saying, wait till 40 minutes and we'll win some team fights. Although they've been more proactive as of late, it's definitely going to be C9 probably in the driver's seat when it comes to the early game.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to cue in myself into the top lane matchup. I want to watch that one. I want to see Licorice into Hanser. I want to see TSM getting Licorice off of something like Dr. Mundo. Don't need to see the Doctor.
It's such a fun champion.
I love me some good Doctor, but hey, let's keep those level 16 ultimates where you're gaining more health than you're actually losing out of the game here. Let's get that out of the way. But I want to see that top lane matchup be some fun carries up there, and I want to see them taking over the match.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Aatrox pretty much ever. He's been permabanned for almost the entirety of the summer split, but there's plenty of other guys you can go with. We talked about Let Me playing a Kali top. We've seen some Rise top out of Hanser. We saw that in the quarterfinal matchup as well as the NA Jace. Great meme, by the way. Hopefully there's no Lucian top from Licorice because that was not very good. That one time he matched it up against Huni. But that top lane is going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, the likes of Blabber, this is his first playoff best ofs on the stage. So we'll see how he performs because, it's new for Grig as well, which is very interesting for these two junglers when you look at the veterans that they're surrounded by.
Yeah, but I think you got to give Grig a little bit of a thumbs up here for his performance in the Echo Fox series. Yes, he was absolutely outclassed, outperformed by Dardoch, but that was simply due to the level of performance that Dardoch was able to output here in that TSM matchup. And I think it's important to remember that, hey, remember these important moments where Grig is stealing the Baron, stuff like that, stuff that you attribute mostly to luck or 50-50, but the ability to do it in a playoff matchup and to continue doing it throughout this split shows that, yeah, there's a little bit of something here as far as his ability to watch it get down, capitalize on mistakes and other teams not securing it. And I think that is something that's going to be in TSM's favor and can be in Grig's little back pocket of a little extra confidence heading into this another semifinals playoff matchup.
Smites don't seem to be 50-50 when Grig's around the Baron pit. He seems to always come up when it matters most. We can't talk about this matchup without looking at the mid lane. Bjergsen Jensen. They've pretty much been the best, most consistent mid laners in North America over the last couple of years. They've been fighting back and forth for MVPs over it. It's been a, classic argument. Who's better, Jensen or Bjergsen? This split, you'd probably say Jensen just because of the inconsistencies of TSM. But for how much roasting Bjergsen has gotten, his numbers have been pretty darn good still.
Yeah, and kind of the interesting thing heading into this split has been that if you think about Bjergsen, one of his historic champions that he's very good on is the Zilean, But haven't really seen that too much out of him recently. We did see him one game this split and gets the victory here. But who's really taken over the Zilean in NA? And it's been Jensen. Jensen has been a fantastic player on Zilean. Not expecting him to be this, absolute supporting type of champion here, but he's going out and getting it done for his team, helping them get these advantages. Things like having Sneaky on the Jhin and then speeding him up to get the additional attack damage. Oh boy, I've really liked what he's done on some of these other type of champions that you wouldn't expect Jensen to find success on, and I think that's been a really nice plus for Cloud9 this split.
And one of those standout numbers that you saw on that board was solo kills, 9 for Bjergsen, 0 for Jensen. A lot of that is, of course, because of picks like Zilean. It's a lot harder to get solo kills, and I'm pretty sure most of those 9 solo kills for Bjergsen came in that one Akali game where he's getting 14 kills and one-shotting anyone on the map.
Yeah, a little bit different with those type of champions, and I think that's going to be the interesting matchup to see how much agency TSM is going to give into Bjergsen into this important matchup against Jensen. How much do they want to weigh it on to see if Bjergsen can once again put on those big carry pants and say, hey, hop on board, everybody. We're going on to the finals.
C9, TSM, El Clasico. Does the world's hype continue for TSM or C9? Both still have a legitimate shot, but if you got to send a team to the gauntlet, you're going to have more faith in C9. So who's winning this market?
Yeah, and that's why I'm sending C9 to the gauntlet, boys.
It's your choice.
I'm the one that decides this. That's why SKT's going to Worlds still, guys.
Yeah, there's still hope. Don't worry.
But anyways, I got TSM taking this one. The full 5 games. It's going all the way through, and once again, it's going to come down to a clutch moment where Jensen just can't hit that Zhonya's fast enough. And TSM's going to clean it up.
Don't do that to my boy Jensen. I'd be surprised if this game doesn't go 5 unless TSM reverts to middle of the season TSM. In that case, they'll probably get dumpstered. I think Cloud9 finally beats TSM in a playoff series for the first time in a very long time. They have just looked unbeatable over this second half split. But this is going to be a real doozy of a semifinal.